Hey, what is up, people? It is your boy Johnny. In today's video, we're going to be 3D printing pretty cool Pokemon stuff. So the first thing I want to show you guys is the Pokeball that I 3D printed. Now mine obviously doesn't open, but because I just wanted one for display. I'm not going to be playing with it or opening it up, so I just super glued it together and just made it as a display piece. And as you guys see, we 3D printed that as well. And we 3D printed this pretty cool Nintendo Switch case, which carries in your Nintendo Switch games. And we're also going to be 3D printing a lot of other stuff in this video as well. As you guys can see, the Squirtle looks pretty nice as well. It's not the best model Squirtle, but it looks pretty cool. And as you guys can see, I already started painting part of it. It didn't come out pretty well, but I'll show you guys in the video later. As well as a Bulbasaur that I have over here, which is a small Bulbasaur, but it looks pretty decent as well. As you guys can see, I'm gonna focus it up on the camera so you guys can actually see it better. And there you go, Bulbasaur looks pretty cool, 3D printed. And I want to focus the Squirtle because I guess you guys didn't really get to see a really good focus on it, but as you guys can see it right here, it did come out pretty good. However, I still have to paint the rest. It's a work in progress. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what I 3D printed, and the first one is going to be the Pokeball with the button release lid. Personally, I didn't do mine that way with the button release lid, but anyways, I'm going to show you guys what you basically want to print out and the models, and which one are going to be more important when you 3D print this, simply because some of them are going to need supports. So the loop on the bottom and the loop on the top will not need support. The button as well will not need support. The stand will also not need support. The bottom white will also not need support. However, the lid red, which I'm going to download right now, is this one. This one is going to need support, guys. You just need to add them. It's gonna be required simply because you're gonna need to add supports to this one. So if you don't add supports to this one, your 3D print might not come out pretty well, and you might end up disappointed with what you get. But you're gonna definitely need to add supports to this one. And basically the supports usually go down here. I would recommend you don't make them too big because then you could kind of ruin the print, but you're gonna want to go get supports that are a little thinner, like 2.5. I would say 2.5. That's kind of what I did on mine. So this is how it came out, similar. You want to get those supports that are easy to come out because it'll be a pain. However, for the next thing that I'm going to show you guys as well, let's go ahead and show you guys the other stuff as well. As you guys may notice here that this was the loop top, and I think that's pretty much the only one that you're going to need with the supports. You're gonna want to print the ring. So basically all the stuff that's there, and I was gonna show you the white bottom, or the white bottom, because you're gonna want to see this one as well, because this is going to be one of the harder prints. Personally, I printed mine like this. I literally didn't do anything about any supports. I think this one is more flexible when it comes to 3D printing it. I don't really think you need supports for this one, in my opinion. So yeah, that's for the Pokeball. Another of my favorite 3D prints has to be the Pokebox Switch 3D DS game case. So this one is a pretty dope, really awesome 3D print. I personally 3D printed one of these and I really like it. It's really useful. I never thought I would actually be using something like this, but since I piled up a bunch of Nintendo Switch games, I really like this one. So you're gonna get the options for different STL files. You don't really need a support on any of these files. I really like that because there's no need for them. The only thing that you're gonna want to know is that the Switch bottom and the DX bottom are for DS, and the Switch bottom is just mainly for Nintendo Switch's games. And you're gonna want to PLA print them however you want. You don't need any supports on these models, but I will give you the link in the description so you can go ahead and download them yourself. I won't really be going into further details on the 3D print. And for this one is the Squirtle that I 3D printed. Basically this is the model as you guys can see it. A lot of people prefer it with resin. However, I just 3D printed it with regular filament. I know it's probably not the best option, but I gotta say that I really like the way this model came out when I 3D printed it. It was one of my first ones. One of the things that I want to mention is that this one is going to need supports. Regardless, however you see it, you're gonna need to add supports to it, simply because it will not print properly if you do not add the supports. It took me about 3 hours to print it, I believe, or 4 hours. And I did it with the auto supports, and basically this is kind of like what it came out with. And it was a pretty decent 3D print. However, I would recommend that it wouldn't be as... I wouldn't recommend it in those spots. You can always change it up. However, mine came out pretty decent, just needed a little bit of sanding. So make sure to do your supports better. And the next one is the Bulbasaur, which I'm going to be showing you guys. This one, I believe it's this one. Now this one I liked it because I did not need any supports at all. However, I did 3D print it pretty small, but yeah, I 3D printed this one pretty small, but I think you don't need any supports for it. Basically on the thing file, accurate Bulbasaur, as you guys can see right there. And it comes out like this. You gotta repair your model depending on your software, but mine repaired it pretty fine. Anyways, I didn't really need any supports. You could add a raft to it, and you could also scale it if you want to make it bigger. I'm probably gonna try to print this bigger one of these days, because it does look pretty cool. As you guys can see, yeah, the scaling, it takes a while, but you can scale it up to like even 500. 500 is too much. Maybe someday I will 3D print this one on the biggest scale that it can. But I really liked it because I didn't need supports. However, this definitely took a lot of filament. That's the only thing that I have to say. It's gonna take a lot of filament if you go ahead and 3D print it at a pretty big height. But it came out pretty good, the 3D print. I personally liked it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that little montage video of me gluing it and as well as putting it all together. And I think I really like the way these 3D prints came out for these Pokemon things. I know I could have done a better job on the back, and I could have also made the button pushable, but that is completely optional to you. I didn't really want to struggle with the spring, and I didn't have any springs at the moment. But either way, I'm still going to use these for my Nintendo Switch games. As you guys can see, this one came out pretty decent. I like the way that you can put your micro SD cards. And like I mentioned earlier, you can also have a 3DS version and a DS version. So you can put your cartridges from those type of games into it as well. But I mainly play the Switch, but I actually might print one later on for the DS or the 3DS because it was useful. I really like this one. It came out pretty good. And as you guys can see, the Pokeball as well. I really like the way it turned out. I think I put a little bit too much super glue, so I might have to take it off and then put some back. Now this one doesn't open at all, but I don't really plan on playing with this Pokeball. I just plan to have it as a display thing, mainly because I love Pokemon stuff, and it looks really good on the stand as well. As you guys can see, yeah, it just looks amazing. I think I did a pretty decent job on the 3D print. Probably definitely needed a little bit of sanding, but you know, overall it still looks good on my table to display. And then the Squirtle comes in last. As you guys may know, this one probably needed more details like I explained at the beginning of the video. And I probably want to finish coloring it, but it was a pretty good model. Just if you print it, just make sure to add supports. But either way, it looks pretty nice. I know I didn't finish painting it. You're probably gonna be like, Johnny, why didn't you finish painting it? I know, right? I just got a little bit too lazy. And this is Bulbasaur. I like this little miniature Bulbasaur. It does look really nice as well. I do plan on doing another video where I'm going to actually go ahead and finish more 3D prints. I'm gonna do more Pokemon stuff. I still have a lot of Pokemon stuff that I haven't 3D printed that I want to showcase that look really cool. So this might be like episode 1 of the Pokemon 3D printing series with some of the amazing things that you can 3D print that are Pokemon related. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about making a part 2 later on with some more cool 3D prints of other stuff as well in the near future. Let me know, guys, what you think about these 3D prints in the comments section. Make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and subscribe for more videos. I will be doing more unique videos as well, video game related and different stuff in the future.